Hello, good evening, and welcome back to the Invictus Racing League IRL F1 League here every Monday evening with myself, Gareth Hall, and joined, as always, by Alan Sabatino. How are you doing, Sab?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Gareth. Tonight we're here in China, and we were just discussing off air. We were here last year, weren't we? But I, to be honest, cannot remember much about that race. We were discussing the drive-through penalty, weren't we, for Gamer? But more interesting talk of this season is we're going into this tonight, Gareth, as all the championships wrapped up. So what we've got to fight for tonight?
Absolutely not. So let's all switch off and have an early night. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's I think, as you say, yeah, championship was won by Harry, and both wrapping up drivers and the constructors for Renault, and he didn't even need teammate Hercules there with him last week to do so. With unfortunately Stinson not having a great evening after starting on the alternate strategy and it not working out and paying dividends for him with wing damage on lap one. However, it's going to open up opportunities, I think. Obviously, the championship is now done. That means that Harry can relax somewhat. Does that mean he takes his foot off the gas a little bit? We've heard rumblings that he said he's going to start from the back of the grid once again. And like we saw last week, Sab, that opens the door for other people to come to the fray when it comes to standing on the podium. Of course, we saw a debut podium for TL44S last week after a brilliant qualifying result, and equally transferred it into race pace.
Yeah, he had a great race, a great evening overall, didn't he, TL4S? And you could hear the delight in the commentary box with us after the race. And I'm hoping for something similar this evening in qualifying. I really enjoyed qualifying last week with the likes of Bisas and Andriy right up there as well, really fighting for that pole position. And it was a shame about Andriy. He picked up that drive-through penalty during the VSC, which really hurt his chances of picking up a podium. But if the rumours are true that Harry is starting at the back, it does give maybe another opportunity for somebody different to get that pole position. But you can't still rule out the likes of Stinson. Hercules is back with us this evening. Beastas, up until his tyres pretty much gave way, he looked fast as well last week. So, yeah, I'm sure those guys, if Harry isn't going for pole, will be certainly eyeing it up themselves.
Yeah, very much so, as we get ready to go for the 10th round of the season. Just two more to go after this, of course. Over to Spain at the Circuit de Catalunya for round 11, and then we finish off the season in 2 weeks' time for the night race in Singapore Marina Bay. So just not long left to go here, and no more competitive racing. League racing, I say, on this one. We will be moving to it's currently being fleshed out a little bit, but Invictus Champions League, it seems. So we'll have to keep your eyes on that one as we go to the grid tab. And as we usually get gifted on a Monday evening, it's a completely bone dry circuit. So I'm sure our resident weatherman Foxy Red 2000 will come in and let us know what we're expecting for the race. And what do you know it's going to be all dry. So once again, it's a double dry session, which I'm sure the majority of the field will actually could be quite happy with. However, of course, it is quite nice for us just to mix it up every now and then. But one man that will be looking for another good session this evening is the driver that started on pole position last time out, and that's Beastas. He's out there in the AlphaTauri. He's like we saw last week. He can really switch it on at certain circuits, but if he's going to be a challenger maybe next season, or of course if he makes the return, he needs to stop this inconsistency, because it's something that's plagued Beastas throughout this season as a whole, is that he just has these off races, it seems, and it's really cost him in the championship.
It really has indeed. I'm sorry, Gareth. I will get back to what you say. I'm slightly confused. If you just flick over to Hercules, I believe my screen is showing me correct. He's running around on a set of intermediates right now on his outlap. I don't know if there's been an error from the Renault team there, but it looks like to me he is running around on a set of intermediates, which I don't know if he's just sick to death of the all dry weather forecast like we are, and he's just decided to do something completely different, or the Renault team have got his tyre choice selection wrong there. But yeah, at the moment, with that pink helmet, Hercules is running around on a set of intermediates. But yeah, going back to what you're saying, Beastas, I think similar in a way how Harry started fighting for the F1 championship with Beastas. There was flashes of speed and brilliance, but then there was inconsistencies on the way. So Beastas, I think, got to take a lot of positives from this season. He's certainly stepped up and certainly shown that he has got the pace. He, just like you say, needs to iron that out and bring the consistency in. And why not eye him up as a potential championship title contender for next season? He's got, like we said, got the pace. He would probably have a lot of challenges to go with, like Stinson, maybe Hercules as well. So, yeah, Beastas. I would be interested to see how he does this evening, but just watching Hercules, he's crossing the line, he's going to start a flying lap on a set of intermediates.
Well, he clearly knows something that we don't know about the weather. Perhaps we're about to see a monsoon deluge of water on this lap. I think differently, but we'll see if it works out. From you never quite know. From the German, of course, a multi-time winner here in IRL F1, so who's to question his tyre choice? But Beastas is the one out there on the softest compound tyres. The red-walled soft tyres locks up a little bit going into the slowest corner on the circuit. And that, of course, is just as you enter the third sector at turn 11. And now onto that long back straight, one of the longest pure straights in Formula One, almost a mile long, down to a heavy braking zone, the hardest braking zone on the lap, down into a hairpin, and just a little bit of kiss of lock up there, but getting a bit squirmish on the exit. But Beastas, will see if he continues. Very easy to run wide and take too much exit curb on the final corner and lose time, but it's a 29.004, just about dips above the 29s. But Beastas, good banker there from him. We'll see what the Haas can do, and Andriy going 0.2 of a second slower, a 1:29.294. As you can see, into the box comes the Racing Point and the other AlphaTauri just behind him of TL4S and, of course, of Bandobiz.
I'm just keeping an eye on Stinson, and he's at a part of the track here, Gareth, that I always find particularly difficult. 7, 8, 9 and 10. Sector 2, if you get that wrong, you can lose so much time through that part of the track. Stinson seemingly made it look a lot easier than I tend to do, and he's gone purple in the middle sector, and then this long sweeping right-hander for the long turn you just spoke about. It seems to go on forever, doesn't it, that right-hander? But Stinson looking like he's going to punish Beastas and take that first spot off him if he can just nail these final few corners. But at the moment, it's looking like a solid bank lap here from Stinson. Just wants to get these last few corners right, just locked up a front right slightly, but it'll not affect him too much. Final call come up, as you say, it's very easy to drift wide here and invalidate. Makes it look nice and easy, hugs the right hand side. What does he do? Wow, interesting. He must have lost a lot of time after that second sector, because he's ended up 4/10 down there, Stinson, in fourth place.
Yeah, the Dutchman with a bit of a scruffy lap there. Is his banker at 29.448. It's currently 0.4 of a second off of Beastas's currently provisional pole time of 29.004. Good evening to everyone joining us this evening. This is the 10th round of the IRL F1 League here on Monday night with myself, Gareth Hall, and of course with Alan Sabatino as we cover the end of our season. 2 more races left to go after this one, so just 3 races left. And well, the championships may have been wrapped up, but there's still plenty of wins to fight for. Plenty of fastest laps, plenty of points to be fought for as the rest of the field all look to scatter into a position come the end of this season. On board of Burmeister as he travels down that back straight towards turn 14. DRS wide open on the Ferrari as he travels down towards the heaviest braking zone on the lap, down into the hairpin. A little bit of a lock up there on the right hand side, but he can stretch his legs out to the final corner, and it's all about getting the right turn in. And you can see he has to scrub off a little bit of time and backs off of that lap because he realised perhaps it wasn't quite what he was expecting. So Bert deciding to back out of that lap. He's going to come across the line very, very slowly and does a 1:36.251, leaving others to go out and set another lap. We've got Nathan out on circuit. Stinson is about to come out, it seems, for another flying lap as well. Still yet to see half the grid out, Sab. You can think that China will typically quite harsh on the tyres. Are we seeing a lot of drivers do what we saw last week in France from Stinson, Scopefielder and Harry, and trying to start outside of the top 5, maybe around that 12th or 13th position, and use that alternate strategy come the race?
Yeah, could well do it. It worked out nicely, didn't it, for Harry last week, starting where he started. Unfortunately for Stinson, it wasn't quite the same for himself, picking up that wing damage on the hard tyres, and he somewhat recovered, but not enough to really stop Harry's championship win. But I'm just keeping an eye on Bando Biz in the Racing Point, and I'm really rooting for Bando Biz this evening. I'm rooting for him to have a good evening. He really does deserve a good evening. We've spoken often, not only in realistic performance as well as tonight. He's just struggled all season in IRL, and I'm hoping he can have a nice, clean evening this evening and score some decent points. Really get his confidence back up. He's on his flying lap now. He hasn't set a time yet. He's just managed his way through the middle sector, not invalidating. So all looking good so far for Bando Biz.
Yeah, as you say, the poor guy has been up against the ropes the majority of the season, not only on a Monday night but also on a Thursday night. And, well, as you say, he'll be looking at improving on a best qualifying result, which he equalled last time out, 4th place. But, well, if the map is to be believed, which you never quite know, but he has gone purple in Sector 1 and Sector 2. We know that he's got qualifying pace underneath that number 9 machine as he goes around the hairpin to the final corner. And what can Bando do? Currently in 8th without setting a time, just needs to keep it on circuit, does so, runs the line. Where can he get himself? It's going to go up into the second row of the grid, up onto 4th with a 29.435, 13 thousandths faster than Stinson, who's now on his second out lap. We've equally got Beastas, who's decided to go for another run. He's coming down towards the end of Sector 1, who's gone marginally faster than his original lap. So Beastas at the moment en route to make it 2 pole positions in a row if he can keep up this pace.
Yeah, definitely. And another team I think's en route for having another good qualifying is the Haas team. Currently 2nd and 3rd with Nathan and Andriy. I've been really impressed with the Haas team this season. They've shown good pace. They've shown they've improved this season. They've had some bad luck, yeah, and they've made odd mistakes here and there. But overall, I think the Haas team have really improved this season and been deserving of some of the results they've had, especially Andriy picking up his podium a few weeks ago. I was just keeping an eye on Cliffy, but Cliffy doing what Cliffy normally does best, teasing us a little bit, coming back into the pits and not saying the time. So as you say, we've still got 7 cars still to set times at the moment. Burmeister now going back out after his 1:36 time on the softs is now out on a set of mediums in his Scarlet Ferrari.
And Beastas taking off around about 800ths of a second off his best time there, so improving on his current provisional pole with 1:28.929. Great lap there from Beastas with 8 minutes 17 seconds left to go in this session here from the Shanghai International Circuit in China. 5.4 kilometre circuit, 3.38 miles. It's a 16 turn clockwise circuit with 51 gear changes over the lap. It's full throttle for about 55% of it, and well, it's the longest pure straight at just over 3/4 of a mile. It's a 300-metre run down to T1 from P1. Of course, that snail-like section that can catch out even the best of drivers because it is off camber. It's very awkward. It's quite difficult at times. But down the back straight you can open it up, you can get up to a top speed of well in excess of 200 miles an hour. And one of those drivers, as you say, who's been impressing in qualifying is Andriy, and he's currently on a flyer with just under 7.5 minutes left to go. Andriy, who's had, as you say, his best sort of string of qualifying results in the last 5 races, really picked it up. The first 3 races of the season did get in the top 10, and ever since then, well, he's not been any lower than 6th with 3 third places in a row, and last week even getting up onto the front row of a 2nd place finish. So Andriy currently in 2nd, really improving, and the man that's not only made a jump in the F1 standings, but also to the commentary box on a Wednesday evening where he's been helping out the F4 League and doing a marvellous job of it. But Andriy, coming down to the hairpin now, will be eyeing up another front row start, Sab.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on him as well, as you were talking about today. He was marginally up on his previous time, and he's all out of shape on that final corner. Unfortunately, he's not going to improve, and just as you pointed out early in qualifying, it's like you say, easy to get it wrong on that final corner. Just ran a bit wide, the car got all out of shape, and that was an invalidation. I think Andriy probably would have pipped his teammate in to 2nd place. He was marginally up, but unfortunately for him, he stays on the 2nd row at the moment with Bando.
He does. but as you say, plenty more more laps left to be set. Burmeister's currently out there. He's decided, well, if so many people aren't wanting to set a timed lap with just over 6 minutes left to go, why not go and strap a set of mediums on and try and get in a decent lap on the medium tyres and sit inside that top 10? Because at the moment, well, Cliffy's back out. He's coming up to the hairpin now, and actually no, he's coming up to the... Where are we? I'm coming up to sector 1. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong Mercedes on the mini map. But Cliffy now coming around sector 1. He's on a flyer on softs. Now he was on pole position last time we were here, which of course last season, round 4 of season 11, he went on to win that one ahead of Scopefielder and Foxy Red 2000. After, as you said, as Stinson goes pole with 1:28.881. So great lap there from Stinson. He's decided to go for it. He wants another race win here on a Monday evening. It seems 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. But yeah, going back to last season, Cliffy managed to go from flag to flag with a pretty strong win. China's one of those circuits that he seems to turn up at. It is China and Monaco seem to be up there with some of Cliffy's favourites, and he's made the jump to the ERT racing team, and I'm sure he's going to want to impress here in his second race back since dipping out at the end of last season. He's rejoined, and well, it didn't go quite to plan. A couple of races ago, only came home, or only qualified in 15th, and couldn't quite improve on that too much in the race, but we'll see what he can do at one of his favourite circuits down here into the hairpin corner. And Cliffy looking as though he's on for quite a tidy lap if he's going to stick with it. He's coming up to the final corner now, and he's going to bail in, and in fact he's going to completely strip himself of a time here, but just going out and just testing himself, it seems, as he comes back into the box, leaving Burmeister at the moment, the only one that seems to be on a lap, or it looks like it's a lap in. He's improved to 1:39.22, sorry, so Burmeister up to 8th place on the medium tyres. JCol, however, he's done a lap on the medium. He's done a 1:31.613 on the mediums, and as we said, Sab, so many of the others, well, as TL44S comes out of the box with 4 minutes left to go, deciding against that qualifying lap, it seems.
Yeah, it does seem so. I noticed as well, Stinson has done 2 laps on those soft tyres to get that time, so that may prove to hurt him a little bit at the early stages of the race, when he probably will have to pit maybe a lap or 2 earlier. But I'm going to keep an eye on TL4 for us as well. He's now coming around the final corner to start his first flying lap of the evening on those medium tyres. I'm wondering if he'd be looking to try and maybe sneak ahead of Burmeister on those medium tyres and see if he can stick with those soft runners early on in the race. Because me personally, I'd rather have in a race track position rather than having to work through a field. So maybe TL4 for us is looking at some of the times that have been set at the moment and thinking on those medium tyres he might be able to just get ahead of those guys and sit himself nicely come the race.
Yeah, as his teammate Beastas, now going down the back straight, was up marginally on his best time, was 300 of a second faster. We'll see what he can do as he comes down to the hairpin for the final time in this qualifying session. He probably won't have enough time to set another flying lap on these soft tyres and do what Stinson did in the double push lap, but around the final corner he's going to go wide. He's going to go straight into the wall, and out of qualifying goes. Beastas got it all wrong on exit, and Alex Albon style completely planted it into the wall. So unfortunately for Beastas, it looks as though he was going to be improving, but not enough. And well, unfortunately for him, that's curtains a little bit earlier than what he was probably planning on. He managed to make it until about 5 metres before the line into the wall. Well, let's see what his teammate can do, as TL4S is going to come around the corner and see the wreckage of his teammate strewn across the main straight. But TL4S getting a little bit of a wiggle on exit of the hairpin there. We'll see if it's going to harm him as he comes around the final corner. Keeps it in between the 2 white lines. Up to the line comes TL4S, and a good lap there, up to 8th on the medium rubber. So that's going to get him inside the top 10 currently. 2 minutes left to go, Sab. However, Scope, Cliffy, Hercules, Harry, they're all out.
Yeah, they are, and the only one staying in and doesn't look like he's going to be staying any time whatsoever is Foxy Red. He's decided to stay in, but as you say, the other guys have all come out, but the only one out of those guys you've just mentioned coming out on a set of softs is Scopefielder, whereas the rest of them, Cliffy, Hercules and Harry, all out on the set of medium. So I'm wondering whether Scopefielder will be just eyeing it up here, or maybe going for it, I don't know, but My curious is now is I'm wondering if Hercules and Harry have seen what likes of TL4 has done here and thinking they can sneak into the top 10 quite comfortably. You'd imagine if they nail a lap on a set of mediums, and then these soft running guys ahead of them, when their tyres go, they're in a good position to attack. So maybe they're thinking about that. Hercules has just started his flying lap, so I'm going to keep an eye on him and see how he gets on.
Yeah, that's a great shout as well. Think of the guys, as you can see, one of the Mercedes has gone off at the start of the second sector. That's caused the yellow flag, of which the Renault's going to come around to as JCol takes the second half this time, goes up into 8th place and displaces TL4S on the medium tyres. 40 seconds left to go in qualifying this evening, and we've got the majority of the field, bar 3, out on circuit on a final lap. What can we see from the likes of the Renaults? Do they stick with these laps? Do they see if they can sneak into that top 10? And as you say, trying to get one over on the guys that are on the soft tyres. Did they expect to see so many people not setting a timed lap this evening? We will have to find out. It's all going to come to a fray in, well, the lap counter will come down in 12 seconds and checkered flag will come out, which means we're just going to get the Haas crossing the line, and that's Nathan that's just going to get a lap in. And apart from that, no one else is going to get any more time on their laps. So everyone's setting a time now. This will be it. So what do we see as Andriy comes down to the hairpin for the last time in this qualifying session? Ahead of him is one of the Renaults. The Mercedes is coming up to the line now, and that is Cliffy, who doesn't go anywhere. He stays in 13th place. What do we see from Andriy? He's kept it in a straight line up to the line. Andriy back up ahead of his teammate into 3rd place. You can see the Rudy goes up into 5th. We've got another Mercedes of Finn Marcus in 7th. He's not gone any faster. And then finally, here comes Scopefielder. What can Scope do? He's decided to, in fact, coast across the line and just dip into top 10. So a nice move there from Scope. He's got into the top 10 on a set of softs. You can see it looks as though he lifted off a little bit. Harry, you can see he was pushing hard to the line. What's he going to do on the mediums? It's only 12th place, though. It's, in fact, it's 1,000th of a second slower than his teammate Hercules.
I think Harry probably lost at least 2 or 3 tenths into that hairpin. He ran so deep. He had his front and rear left wheels off the track at the bottom of the hairpin. That's how deep he went into that corner. So I'm pretty sure he'd have probably been maybe around Scopefielder's time, maybe even JCol's time. With that, he did lose a hell of a lot of time. But yeah, 1,000th of a second splits the Renault guys, and they'll be starting in 11th and 12th outside of that top 10 with a free choice of tyres. But yeah, nobody in the end, Gareth, ended up challenging Stinson. Stinson pretty much got that comfortably with time to spare and sit in his garage and enjoy it.
Yeah, and in fact Stinson put an exclamation point on his pole position there by taking 2.5 tenths off his best time. So Stinson going and doing a 28.661. So a brilliant lap there from the Dutchman. He gets himself a pole position. Of course, that's his 3rd this season, having picked up 2 consecutive pole positions back in, I believe it was back at Silverstone and at Kota. So yeah, congratulations Stinson, 3-time pole position holder here on Monday evening. Ahead of Beastas, who of course retired on his last push lap. Andriy, another brilliant qualifying from the Haas driver. That's another top 3 finish for him. His teammate, all Haas, second in a row, Nathan, picks up a brilliant qualifying result, and that's Nathan's best quali result of the season so far. Before then, it was 6th place back at the 4th round of the season. But I'm sure the Haas team will be delighted with that. But it is Stinson that takes pole position in 128.661. 2.5 tenths ahead of Beastas. Andriy, Nathan, Rudy and Bando Biz with another decent result in 6th place. Finn Marcus in 7th. JCol, he's decided to go for the alternate strategy. Medium tyres in 8th. Scopefielder dipped into the top 10 on the softs. And then TL4S equally into the top 10 on the mediums. Outside, with free tyre choice, comes the 2 Renaults, the Constructors Champions and Drivers Champion Harry BR25 along with Hercules, Burmeister, and then without setting a time, pardon me, Foxy Red 2000 and ERT Cliffy. Cliffy, of course, went from flag to flag for the win last season. This time around, he's going for it the difficult way. He's going from the back of the grid. Let's see if it pays off for him, because when he tried this a couple of races ago, it didn't work for him. So he's going to have to make it hard for himself, and we'll see if he can come through. But well, it can be done, because last week, of course, we saw Harry go from 12th to the win, and in fact that was the furthest back on the grid we have seen in over 4 seasons, I believe. I went back and tried to look at some of the data, but I think it's 3 seasons, if not maybe 4 seasons, we've seen someone come from the furthest back, 12th place, to the victory. And he ended up wrapping up both the Drivers' and the Constructors' Championship after a disastrous start for Stinson on the hard tyres. Meant he came in for a pit stop on lap 1 with a broken front wing, and effectively was pretty much compromised from there. And last week, as we talked about earlier in the stream, AlphaTauri joined Red Bull and Renault as the only teams to have picked up a double podium this season, with Beastas and TL4S picking up 2nd and 3rd behind Harry. So congratulations to them. But well, I've got plenty of stats. I'll bring them out later on in the race if it gets a bit quiet, Sab. But I'll just add to the list of we added last week as well. Last week we added a 9th driver to pick up a fastest lap this season, so we've still not had a driver that's picked up 2 fastest laps in a race. So we're going to run out of time eventually. Surely someone's going to pick up 2 in one season. But last week out, it was Fozzy that picked it up in France. But going into this one, once again, it's a great lap from Stinson. He's put himself in the prime position with that run down to T1. But you can't count out the guys that have gone for the alternate strategy.
No, you definitely can't. For me, like I alluded to earlier in the qualifier, I always prefer track position on the grid rather than trying to have to work my way through the pack. Don't get me wrong; these guys are much better drivers than I am, and they can do overtakes better than me. But I always fear, similar to what happened to Stinson last week, I always fear picking up any wing damage or getting tagged on the early laps, and it could really hurt and ruin your race, and any potential chance of going for a podium or top 5 or anything like that is quickly gone unless you get a safety car involved. So for me, I think it's probably the best strategy from Stinson is to just nail that qualifying, get himself on pole, and then he can control his own race. He gets the starts off well, and he can try and run off ahead of Beastas and build that gap then. For me, I wouldn't be so comfortable maybe trying to claw back from 12th or 13th. But, as you pointed out, Harry knows how to do it, and he's in 12th again this evening, so definitely don't rule out Harry again.
No, absolutely not. So let us know in the comments if you are watching, where do you think this one is going as they lead us away for the formation lap, the 10th round of the season, the IRL F1 League here on the PlayStation. Plenty more racing from Invictus this week. Tomorrow night, join us on the PlayStation on YouTube for the F2 race here at the Shanghai International Circuit, or over on twitch.tv/Invictus Racing League, where you can find the Xbox F1 League streamed live over there. Wednesday night, 4 leagues over 2 platforms. You've got F3 and F4 on the PlayStation, F1 and F2 on the PC on Steam. They'll all be streamed live on YouTube. So 4 streams all at once here on YouTube. And on Thursday, it's Realistic Performance League night. It is the Realistic Performance League on the Xbox and on the PlayStation. The guys will be running a reverse grid after the results were reversed from last week's race. So make sure you tune in on Thursday, 8 PM, for both those races on twitch.tv and on YouTube. Of course, if you're new to us, subscribe. It's always great to do. Like the video if you're enjoying it. It really does help us out. And of course, ring the bell to be notified every time we go live with a new video, which usually happens every Monday to Thursday throughout the week. As Stinson leads away from Beastas, Andriy, Nathan, Rudy, Bando, Marcus, JCol, Scope, TL4S, Hercules, Harry, Burmeister, Foxy, and Cliffy. Sab, let us know, what's the tyres like?
The tyres are an interesting choice. You've got 3 guys on the hard tyres outside the top 10. That's Hercules, Harry, and Cliffy at the back, whereas Burmeister and Foxy have gone for the medium tyre. I think one guy out of all of this in a bit of danger is Schofield. He's in that 9th place with TL4S behind him on the medium tyre. I think Schofield, if he's not careful, he doesn't clear that medium runner ahead of him quite quickly, he could find himself quite easily swallowed up by these hard and medium runners behind him. So I think Schofield could have a tough evening this evening, so he'll want to try and get away pretty sharpish this evening and catch up with the other soft running guys.
Yeah, Schofield, of course, was on the podium last time we were here, season 11, round 4. He came in second before. And then season 8, round 8 was Harry on debut ahead of Charlie and Scott. What a iconic podium that was. Season 7, round 7, Scott, Nicky 9905 and GPI Alex. But what can they do? Season 12, round 10 here for China. Well, it's going to be Stinson versus Beastas off the line. Who's going to get the launch? We're about to find out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. Lights on, lights off. And they're off and underway for the 10th round of the IRL F1 League. As it looks as though Stinson's had an absolute rocket behind. You can see the Haas already attacking Beastas into turn 2. And in fact, he gets up at a long time. What a start from Nathan. He's gone from P4 to P2 in 2 corners behind. Bando's trying to get around the outside of Andriy and trying to swing around the outside. You can see Beastas trying to come back at the Haas. And in fact, he's just about missed from tagging the rear end of the Haas. But brilliant start from the Dutchman, TTG Nathan. Here comes Bando's trying to go back up the inside. In fact, Nathan gives him a lot of room and gives him a bit of a kiss on exit. Behind it looks as though it's been a clean getaway from everyone else. Cliffy and Burmeister haven't made any moves. However, you can see throughout the field, maybe Scopefielder has done. He's managed to jump back up ahead of TL4S.
Yeah, JCol got lost out massively there in that fight, but as you can see just further ahead, Beastas has got back ahead of Nathan, but Beastas was off the track and so was Andriy, and Andriy has come back onto the track and Bando has now managed to get ahead, and Andriy and Bando are side by side going round this long right hander here. Surely one of them's got to give up here. They're banging wheels. This is not going to end well, surely. Down this long straight, Finn Marcus going to have a real nice tow here. I'm sat on board with the Mercedes driver, watching Bando and Andriy, and it looks like Andrey's just about won this fight, but Andriy all out of shape there and getting the car off track, but luckily managing to hold on to it. But the problem is for Marcus is Rudy's now attacking Marcus, so Marcus watching this battle ahead for 4th place has got to watch his own positions because Rudy's looking on fire at the moment and Marcus under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and I think actually that Andriy might have clipped his rear on his front wing on his teammate on the exit of turn 9 on the last lap.
Sorry, Bando has gone off at turn 1. Bando, I don't know if he touched Andriy, but Bando has gone off at turn 1 and it's dropped him all the way down to 13th place. Fighting with Scopefield. I don't know what's happened there. I don't know if the timings are all off, Gareth, but yeah, it's got Bando all the way down here, but the timings are all screwing up again, sorry. But Bando has dropped out and lost that massively. I think Bando has dropped down into possibly 8th place. My timing start fixed itself.
Yeah, don't worry. He's now back up into 7th after falling back behind a couple of drivers. But as you say, it's once again been a bit of a scruffy start for Bando, who was fighting upwards towards the top 3, but a little bit of a mistake drops the racing point back down into 7th. You can see the interval already extending between Stinson and Beastas up to 1.5 seconds. So Stinson with a rocket of a start behind the medium runners, all starting to shuffle up behind the back of the guys on the soft. So these guys on the mediums are in a very tidy position indeed. You can see a TL4S trying to stay in the slipstream of Scopefielder, who's on the soft tyres. So TL4S leading the charge of the middle compounded tyres. There we go. Try and say medium and middle at the same time, but there we go. TL4S, however, as you can see, just about manages to hold on to an exit, gets all out of shape as Stinson leads around, and in fact he's starting to really stretch his legs now. 1.7 seconds. TTG Nathan up to 3rd place after being battled back by Beastas. Those two going side by side for the first half of the first lap. Beastas, however, is back up into 2nd place. Finn Marcus, great start from the Mercedes, up to 4th.
I believe there must have been some sort of contact with Andriy and Bando. Andriy is into the pits, front wing change to him, and a set of medium tyres go onto the Haas car. Unfortunate there for Andriy yet again. He started off in a good position in the race, but unfortunately has now dropped himself right to the back of the field.
Yeah, unfortunately for Andriy, after such a promising qualifying result, ahead of him, Rudy is now starting to really put the pressure on Finn Marcus, who is becoming a little bit of a bottleneck here. You can see the gap is very much forming between the Mercedes and then a train all the way back to the back of the field, with Burmeister back in 14th place. Harry and Hercules are doing a good job of holding on to the back of these guys. Of course, they can stay in the DRS very shortly as well, so it's going to benefit them. Of course, both the Renaults and the Mercedes, of of Cliffy, all on the hard tyres. So they're trying to go long in this one. Here comes Rudy, however. He's got a really nice run on the leading Mercedes of Finn Marcus down towards the hairpin. And the Dutchman is going to go up the inside and into P4. Great move there from Rudy, kept it clean all the way down. You can see as he pulled out of the slipstream, of course he'd lost that ability of letting the Mercedes punch the hole through the air. In fact, Rudy extends out and takes the esports line through there, or I say that the F1 virtual Grand Prix line through that final corner. But you can see now Rudy up into 4th place. Finn Marcus, however, not willing to give it up, but behind you can see the gaps really starting to drop down between so many as Fozzy sends it down the inside of JCol. And in fact, JCol's going to get his elbows out and put Fozzy back in his place. And all that's going to do is bring Harry and Hercules into the party, because you can see Harry behind is going to want to clear these guys, because as you want to be, well, of course, there's here comes Fozzy once again. Fozzy Red 2000. That was brave and bold, and he sent it, almost collected the back of not only JCol but TL44S there.
I really thought TL44S was just going to be a passenger there. It did not look like Fozzy Red was going to get that slowed down. He did get it slowed down, but in the end lost that. And I think it was just a bit of a desperation lunge there on JCol, but he drops himself back behind JCol. But the problem is, as you say, now Harry really started to put the pressure on these guys ahead, and him just riding on board with Harry. You can see all the way up to Schofield in 7th place on these hard tyres. So this is looking a real promising start for Harry in 11th place right now.
Yeah, very much so. So you can see everyone now with DRS. So down the back straight, you're going to pretty much have to cope on the fact that you may have one wing clicked down further than one of your rivals, because at the moment you're going to be stuck in that DRS train as TL4S goes slightly deep into the hairpin. JCol had a little bit of a sniff, but into the box it seems we've already got Scopefielder, so he's going to come in off the soft tyres very early on. It's lap 5 of 28, and Scope's going to come in. Does he strap on a set of hards to go to the end and do a different strategy to the majority of the field? You can see as Foxy's going to go deep into turn 1, and that's going to open the door for Harry, but Harry not quite close enough to send up the inside line, much like we saw from Foxy last time around. But if you are enjoying it, let us know, guys. Of course, liking the video really does help. Jump into the comments and let us know who you want to be watching, where you want to be in, or who you want to see do well this evening, as Bando is back up into 6th place. He's now chasing down Finn Marcus, and Finn Marcus, who was running well, dropped behind Rudy, is now falling into the clutches of Bando and very shortly of TL44S, who's doing a good job so far on those mediums of holding onto the back of the soft runners.
He is, and what I think's happening here as well is Rudy in 4th now has dropped 3 seconds behind the front 3, and this is doing Nathan the world of good. Nathan's a little bit off of Beastas, but Nathan now with a good comfortable gap over Rudy in 4th, and if Nathan could keep it tidy here, he could be on for a solid evening's points, even potentially a podium here. So Nathan doing well, bridging that gap to Rudy. Marcus a bit too far behind Rudy to use that DRS to the fullest and get past Rudy, so Rudy will hold on to 4th for now as Marcus cruises up to the back of that Red Bull, but unable to get the move done. And similar to the guys behind, Bando the same, tailfall for us as well. But as we can see, our race leader is into the pits on lap 6.
Yep, as JCol gets it all wrong on the exit of the hairpin as well, and he's dropped down the position behind the Alfa Romeo Fozzy Red 2000, and in fact now he's starting to come under threat from Harry, and Harry, whose hard tyres will be very much in the operating window. Let's see if he can start to mount an attack, as you say, into the box comes the race leader onto a set of mediums. So Stinson going from the softs to the mediums this evening, so a very aggressive strategy from Stinson there. Rudy, however, going for the hards. Schofield has gone onto the hards last lap. We'll see if that undercut will work dividends for the Alfa Romeo. In fact, he's got himself right involved in the battle with Rudy, so Scope very nicely indeed. Only 1.2 seconds behind Rudy now. But up ahead, this train of cars following Finn Marcus pretty much in 3rd place is all the way down to Burr in 11th place. So it's a frustration, I'd imagine, for a number of these drivers that just have to sit here and just wait their turn and hope that maybe they've got a wing down a click or up a click just to help them with a little bit of extra straight line, as JCol gets a little bit off on exit, and that's going to open the door for Harry. You've got to think, does he use any battery? Yeah, it does does put a little bit of push to pass on here, and you can think he's going to make the move in the slipstream, be a DRS, using the overtake, and he's going to pull to the inside, and here we go. This is what happens when you don't have anyone punching the hole. Harry's going to have to get it slowed down just in time. Wow, that was close behind Fozzy. In fact, he's going to try and run the Red Bull off the circuit, and JCol's going to stay with him, but P was back in behind Harry, just about manages to keep himself from tagging the rear end of that Renault. Great racing between the pair of them.
Oh, Gareth, you should have seen it. Bando and Marcus were fighting similar to what you was talking about into that hairpin, but Bando managed to get the jump on Marcus, but Bando then just flew into the pit lane with Marcus, but Bando just completely forgot about braking. Almost did a Lewis Hamilton in 2007 when there was gravel there, but he nearly drove it into the wall. Bando is all out of shit. The car was sideways, just about got the car back in front of Marcus into the pit lane, and Bando breathed a huge sigh of relief there, because I think that could have really gone badly for him, but he just about somehow gets in and out of the pit lane ahead of Marcus. That was just, it was more like rallycross into the pit lane there from Bando Biz.
As you can see, Bando never one to shy away from a little bit of fireworks when it comes to on-circuit action. Behind Harry now is a little bit of a lift off there through the exit of turn 13 there. It's a tricky corner off camber to the right hand corner, but you can see breaking the toe is TL4S. He knows that Foxy Red is coming, and he knows very much that Foxy Red 2000 is he's bold enough to just send it at pretty much every corner. And I know several drivers are a little bit wary when they see that Alfa Romeo behind him, because I think, oh, where is he going to appear from? But Foxy staying in the tracks to TL4S behind Harry. As into the box comes Beastas, and the last runner off of the soft tyres. We'll see where he figures out. Of course, he was second on circuit as Stinson, who of course came in from the lead. He's got onto a set of mediums, so you've got to think that Stinson's going for a two-stop strategy. Stinson is already starting to grip himself on the back of this party that is currently being headed up by TL4S.
And Beastas has come out 7.9 seconds behind Stinson, so that extended run on the softs for him has hurt him a lot. But what is crucial for Beastas is he's come out ahead of Nathan, but Nathan has brought that gap down to Beastas. I think it was about 2.8 seconds, Nathan, to Beastas. It's now down to 1 second, so this has helped Nathan out a lot, and I think this will really help Stinson out, Gareth, a lot here, because if Beastas and Nathan start squabbling, it can really help Stinson stretch that gap out, and doing that potential two-stopper here, it could really help him build a bridge over Beastas.
Yeah, very much so. So it's all going to figure out later on in this race. So it's very difficult for us to say now where this one's going to be going, because at the moment we've got so many drivers on different strategies. Of course, Stinson has gone for a two-stop strategy. Here comes Foxy. He's on the same strategy as TL4S. They both started on the mediums, and Foxy now up into the lead. TL4S is going to follow him through the hairpin. Behind, he's got three drivers that started on the hards. He's got Harry, Hercules and Cliffy that started plumb last in this one, and they've all gone for the hard tyres off the start. So it's all going to shake out later on this one, because there you go, right at the back of your shot is Stinson, who was leading this one. He's taken 2 seconds off Burmeister in this lap alone. He was 4.3 seconds off Burmeister at the start of the lap. It's now only 2.5 seconds, so a shade off of 2 seconds off of Burr. So Stinson is already closing up to the back of this pack.
Yeah, and I think crucially, once he does get to the back of this pack, he'll need... as Hercules has sent one down the inside of Harry there. He's collided with TL4S, forced TL4S off the track, and unfortunately for TL4S, he's not lost not one place, but 3 places there, because even Cliffy's got past him there. That was a real late decision there from Hercules, and unfortunately TL4S has really lost out big time through that, and Hercules now follows his teammate Harry up into second place after that.
Yeah, very, very clumsy move. I was just thinking it looks as though Hercules is about to shape up Harry, but he's gone clattering into the side of TL4S, and unfortunately for Tom, he's lost a front end plate on his front wing there. So for TL4S, who's running very nicely in the top 3 here, and in with a shout of a decent result, unfortunately he's going to have to extend his pit stop for a new wing. As you can see, Foxy and Harry now swapping positions position. So Harry now up into the lead on track, and we've got a yellow in sector 3. It looks as though we've lost Rudy, who spun it at turn 13. He's off circuit, and in fact he's trying to get it back on. It's very easy to do off there, but yeah, into the we can see into the box does come Teofel. He's decided that that wing damage won't service him any longer. He's going to have to come and get that fixed, but Foxy is now fighting behind Harry, but of course Harry on the hard tyres will have the advantage at this stage in the race, as the mediums will slowly start to go off. Stinson is now 0.3 of a second off the back of Burmeister, so although he's done 3 laps on those mediums, he's now pretty much got himself back up into a battle where he can fight for the win once again, as Rudy unfortunately 5 seconds and retires from this one. Just that spin compromised him, and he's decided to end it early, unfortunately. So that's our first retirement of the evening for the Red Bull driver. But yeah, so Stinson, Sab, with this strategy, he's brought the two-stop strategy right into play, because he's right behind these guys that have done the medium and the hard start.
Yeah, exactly, and he's pretty much pushing Burmeister around this track now, and he just wants to play sensibly. He doesn't want to do anything silly, similar to what we've just seen with Hercules, where he picks up any wing damage or causes a collision. Burmeister runs it deep there round that long right-hander. It should be an easy move, this, for Stinson, up the inside, and Stinson's pretty much going to have this move done before the DRS is activated, and there you go. Stinson has the move done. Burmeister trying to get a toe off Stinson, but Burmeister will not have any say whatsoever, and that is Stinson back up into 6th. So next victim for Stinson is JCol in 5th place. This has been a remarkable drive, so never mind. JCol is into the pits, so that's another move done for Stinson. So Stinson now into 5th place, and his next victim will be Cliffy, who's on the hard tyres. Now he's catching up with the hard-running guys, so this is going to be absolutely fascinating as we see battling going on between Hercules and Foxy at turns 2 and 3.
Yeah, and I'm sure Foxy will be looking in his mirrors after seeing that lunge that Hercules did, not only his teammate, but Teofel last lap that compromised the both drivers. But this time around, it looks as though Hercules is trying to keep his nose a little bit cleaner. Might find himself in getting a slap on the wrist from the stewards for that move post-race. But the German driver now coming around the elongated turn 7 as they go into the sweeping section of the circuit, and into a slightly more technical part of the end of the second sector. But you can see Stinson now right on the back of Cliffy, really starting to put the pressure on, and very impressive strategy and race so far from the Dutchman. And he's going to start putting, you've got to think that he's going to put himself in the equation for the win here, because he's right on the back of these guys that all haven't stopped. And of course Stinson, who already started on the softs, went to the mediums, got himself back up to 5th place on circuit. He's now shaping up Cliffy for a move with, well, he's using the push to pass, but here they come. Cliffy's going to think about one on Hercules. Stinson's going to struggle to get it slowed down, but Hercules has gone deep into the hairpin, so he was clearly looking in his mirrors there, completely missed his braking point, and now he's found himself dropping from 3rd to 5th.
And that from Hercules probably put Cliffy off somewhat. He did not expect that Renault to do that, and it opened the door for Stinson, and Stinson wasn't going to say no to that, and through he went into 3rd place. To Stinson now eyeing up Fox Red. This is an absolutely incredible drive from Stinson so far. He could eventually retake the lead of these guys who are still not pitted yet, as Stinson is eyeing up one inside of Foxy now. Can Stinson get the move done? Foxy's, as we know, Foxy's not going to give it up too easily, but Stinson says thank you very much. Stinson back up into 2nd place, just 0.6 of a second behind Harry, who's yet to pit. Incredible.
Yeah. What a race the Dutchman's had so far. He is absolutely on fire. Of course, he's got much younger tyres than anyone else, and he's going to get himself to the front of this one, surely. Of course, now his tyres are well within the window. Harry's done 11 laps on those hards. He's going to want to extend this stint as long as possible. The last person he was going to expect to see behind him at this stage of the race was IFR Stinson, who is having a mega race. And you can see Harry trying to break the toe down the back straight. He's clearly rattled as Finn Marcus picks up 3 seconds. For Harry, what are you doing behind me? He's probably thinking there, because Stinson has been on fire this evening, but down towards the hairpin, not quite close enough to get the move done. But for Stinson, this is much like what we saw a couple of races ago. He's just thinking, I could just sit behind you and just let you drag me around at the moment, or does he think I'm just going to get past you and disappear up the road?
And just further back, I think this is helping Stinson because he's not going to get any challenge because Cliffy and Foxy were banging wheels at the hairpin, and Cliffy has got the move done on Foxy. So Cliffy up into third from the back of the field, wasn't he, Cliffy? He often does this, doesn't he, Gareth? Starts from the back and works his way to the front. But yeah, Cliffy into third now, but Stinson seemingly pushing that Renault about now, and surely in the next DRS zone, if he keeps onto the back of that Renault like he is now, it should be an easy move past Harry, because this is just looking very comfortable for him right now.
Yeah, very much so. And Stinson looking as though that McLaren is on absolute rails at the moment as he follows the Renault around, and the Renault whose tyres won't be feeling too great. Of course, they'll start to be graining, and they'll be starting to go off. But he's got a couple more laps left to go if he wants to come in and go onto a set of the medium tyres. You've got to think later on in this one. Stinson looking closer than he's looked in the last lap or so. In fact, he's so tucked up behind the back of that Renault, he can smell what engine oil that Castrol have been using. Here he comes, the Dutchman out of the slipstream, and they're going to go side by side down the main straight. Who's got the advantage? Well, with the DRS, it's going to be the McLaren, and up back into the lead of this one, without, of course, the guys behind even making a stop. So what a race that the Dutchman is having so far. Stinson back up into the effective lead of this one. He, of course, will be making another stop, going on to another set of tyres. Into the box comes Foxy Red off of the mediums, and behind him Burmeister comes in as well. So the guys that started on the mediums are now starting to come into the box. Behind, you can see Harry is starting to fight.
Oh no, sorry Gareth, sorry. Hercules has been in the wars once again. He was fighting with JCol, Marcus and Schofield, and down to the hairpin. Hercules has just broke late once again, all after shape. He tagged, I think, the Mercedes, but the Mercedes got away with it, and unfortunately the biggest loser out of that was Schofield. Schofield was fighting Marcus, and now Schofield finds himself behind Hercules. Hercules really having an off race this evening for himself. We're not used to seeing such a scruffy race from him, but yeah, he tried to see a move. He saw some overtaking just ahead of him and thought he could try and get involved, broke way too late, and luckily for the cars around him, nobody got spun out.
Yeah, it's really not going in the way of the Germans' evening so far, because Hercules, as you say, completely off the boil this evening, making some very uncharacteristic mistakes, and well, maybe trying to force his hand a little bit too often. And well, as you say, Schofield very much the loser in that one, down to 11th place. Hercules on the brand new mediums was clearly wanting to get the move done on these guys on the hards, but it's not worked in his favour, and he's lucky to have got away with that one. You can see Finn Marcus, then we've got JCol behind, but will we see once again Hercules, who's not got any battery left? We've still got plenty of racing left to go, and Hercules is under 5% battery, and you can see JCol and Finn Marcus up ahead that just pulled away as the Renault's surely going to have to try and conserve some batteries. Into the box comes Harry on lap 15 of 28, so he's come off of those hard tyres that he started on onto a set of the mediums. So now Harry's going to have to go on the offensive and do some overtaking, because he's going to fall down right behind his teammate. In fact, he's just going to come out behind Hercules. So well, Harry has come out right into the middle of all this traffic. It's really not worked for him.
No, it hasn't, and this could really hurt his chance of winning this race. He'll have seen what Stinson can do on those medium tyres, but with all this traffic ahead and his teammate seemingly struggling to get through cars at the minute, this is going to really hurt him, as we see Foxy Red has overtaken Schofield now. Foxy Red, who came into the pits for hard tyres, so Foxy Red up into 11th place. But yeah, this is a superb little battle here behind Bando with Finn Marcus, JCol, Hercules and Harry. But Harry will be probably not too impressed with being stuck behind this queue right now, knowing that Stinson keeps extending his advantage ahead.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if the two Renaults are allowed to battle each other, or if Harry pulls rank as the champion and says, let me through. He wants to break some records, and Hercules, who's done a couple of laps extra, but Harry, you're going to think he's going to be, well, he's going to be behind his teammate. In fact, he's going to get a massive double toe off the back of JCol and Hercules down towards the hairpin. He's closing in. Surely he's not going to send it. Here comes Hercules, though. Hercules is going to think about it, and Harry's going to have to try and take a tight line into the hairpin. Hercules Hercules is going to go side by side with JCol and exit, and in fact gets the move done. So, well, I think that's the first time this evening that Hercules has managed to get through past someone without having to force the other car wide. But that's allowed Harry to get the move done on the exit, the final corner. He sweeps and cuts the nose off the Red Bull there. JCol probably won't be particularly happy with that. It was quite nicely done. But there you go, Hercules once again thinking about it on Finn Marcus, and you can tell that these two Renaults, like a swarm of hornets, are desperately trying to get back past the guys that are now on lap 8 old hard tyres.
I think what happened just on that first turn was Bando ran deep once again, and it allowed Marcus to get right up close to the back of that racing point, and it possibly also gave Hercules opportunity, because Marcus didn't quite expect Bando to be so slow around there. Bando not really enjoying that first turn whatsoever, and this has brought the Mercedes driver within striking range now of the racing point. But the problem Marcus has got here is, as you say, you've got these two Renaults swarming behind him. He's going to be focusing on trying to get past this racing point, but he's going to be having two flying Renaults on medium tyres behind him. So Marcus has not only got to look ahead to try and get past Bando, but he's also got Hercules, which probably Hercules is a little bit closer to Marcus here. So we could see some fireworks once again down to this hairpin.
Here you go, the two Renaults side by side down towards the hairpin. No one is giving any quarter. Hercules was having to save some battery. Bando's going to have to go up and under that. They're all scattering in. They're three wide on the exit of the hairpin. There's contact between the two Renaults, and they're going to go three wide down towards the last corner. Who's going to come out of that? The two Renaults somehow get up ahead of Finn Marcus, who's dropped all the way down from 5th place down to 8th. But you can see they're still going at each other as Harry's now trying to sweep around the outside of Hercules. This is going to be a fantastic move if he can get this one done. Here we go. They're still side by side. We're trying to get a good camera view of it, but here we go. Massive move there from Harry around the outside and gets it done on Hercules. There you go. Well, that puts a stamp on that relationship between the pair of them. Does Hercules try and come back at his teammate into the next corner? Harry covers it off. They're still going side by side. This is a mega battle between teammates, but Harry now having to try and put some pressure on, because he's realised that at the moment Stinson, who's come or he's now come in, and he's made his stop, and he's got a great gap ahead of Harry. Harry, of course, was in that involved. Stinson closed up behind him, but he's now 5 seconds off the back of Stinson.
Yeah, and Stinson now, he'll be on full attack mode. He'll know what he can do on these medium tyres. He came out 9 seconds behind Nathan in 3rd, so Stinson already taking half a second off of Nathan just on this lap alone on those medium tyres. So Stinson really enjoying those medium tyres this evening. So this race is really going to go down to the wire as we have a new race leader, but he's just coming into the pits now in Cliffy. Cliffy's had enough of those hard tyres. He'll be coming in. I wonder at Gareth if he'll be trying a cheeky run on the soft tyres, or will he go safe onto mediums? It is the medium tyre for Cliffy.
Yeah, with 11 laps left to go in this one, Beastas taking the lead, Nathan in second, Cliffy will come out on fresh mediums. In fact, we'll see where he comes out, because at the moment he's going to have an absolute swathe of cars coming down the pit straight in front of him, and he's going to come out right in the back of this train of so many different cars battling on different strategies. Harry is now 5.9 seconds off the back of Stinson, so Stinson is in prime position this evening. Guys, if you're enjoying this one, press like on the video. It really does help us out. This is a mega race. Hopefully you're all enjoying it. I'm really enjoying watching this one. It's the first time this season we've really had a race where we've seen so many differing strategies. You can see everyone deciding to go for different tyres and different pit stops and different pit windows. It's great to see these guys late on in this season still trying to innovate their races. But Stinson now, well, he's got to close up to Nathan and to Beastas. He's got 7.7 seconds to do so. And you've got to think, Sab, he's in a prime position to do so. He's looking very, very tasty to watch this evening.
He really is. I called about this point of the last lap. He was half a second quicker than Nathan, down to 8.5 seconds. It's now down to 7.2 seconds. So Stinson, he's absolutely motoring. Nathan's just come around the hairpin now as Stinson is entering the hairpin. So yeah, surely your money is on Stinson. As long as he keeps it clean now, keeps it within the white lines, surely this is Stinson's race to lose, as we see Hercules finally getting the move done on Bandobis, but Cliffy as well. Cliffy is looking pretty racy on those medium tyres as well. He's not messing about. He's already got ahead of JCol, so next up for Cliffy is Bandobis. So Hercules surely will be having one eye on Cliffy, as Cliffy's going to surely try and move on turn 1 at Bandobis, maybe? No, I thought he was going to try and send one inside of Bando there, but Cliffy, I think he's one to keep an eye on as well for these last few laps.
I think someone might need to go check on Cliffy, because I think he's probably going to need a change of underwear after having to brake that hard into the hairpin. Last time round he got a huge toe. I had to brake so hard to not collect the back end of Hercules and Bando Biz that he almost came to a full stop there, so I'm sure he's going to have to compose himself after that one, because that was very scary indeed. Almost completely wiped out the two cars ahead of him, but luckily though he got the move done on JCol, and he's now closing on Banda. As you say, he's got the tyre advantage, so he's going to want to get past as soon as possible. Hercules is now up ahead, so the two Renaults now back up into 4th and 5th on circuit. And they're being followed by Cliffy. Of course, Cliffy started absolute dead last on the grid, and so he'll be looking at getting a decent result. We know that he's a former race winner here in China, and he enjoys the circuit. However, he's got a couple of moves to do if he's to get up onto the podium for the first time in quite a while here in Invictus. But here we go, shaping up Bando on lap 19 of 28. About to turn onto lap 20 as Beastas comes across the line, but Cliffy now up into 6th place. We've got yellow in sector 1. It looks as though we've lost Burr. Is that? Oh no, yeah, it is Burmeister that's lost the car, and we've got a safety car late on in this one. Now, is this going to work in the favour of everyone that is going to come into the box onto a set of soft, or maybe onto a set of fresh mediums? We'll see who comes into it. Yeah, a load of cars deciding into the box for tyres. Hercules, Bando, Andriy, JCol, Fozzy, Finn Marcus, everyone that managed to get across the start-finish line has been compromised by this. You can see all the rest of them are all going to come in and strap on a set of fresh tyres. This has worked out perfectly if you're Foxy red downwards.
This, I don't think will have benefited at all Stinson, really. Stinson had a good gap over Harry. He was reeling in Nathan, but now it neutralises everything, and he'll have Harry right behind him now. So Stinson, who was only focused on going forward, will have to watch out for that Renault behind. But as you say, all those guys who've come in for soft and medium tyres are looking absolutely in a prime position here. Bandobiz is on a set of soft, so is Hercules, so is Marcus. So these guys on the soft tyres, these surely going to be ones to watch for last few laps of this race. And what do the likes of Beastas and Nathan do? Because surely now, the guys behind on those brand new tyres, they're just going to swallow the likes of Beastas and Nathan up, who are on 11 and 12 lap old hard tyres.
I'd expect to see everyone diving into the pit lane for this one. I think Beastas surely is going to have to come in. He's going to see that drivers will have made a pit stop. Does he come in? He's on hard tyres that have done 11 laps. Yeah, he does come into the box. He's followed in by Nathan. And Will Stinson, who's only done 2 laps on the mediums, will he come in, or will he decide that he's got the pace to stay out? He's going brave. He's staying out on the mediums. Oh. What does Harry do? Harry has got to make a decision now. He's coming into the box, so Harry deciding to go for a set of softs to the end. So, well, it's going to have to be a good stop here from the Renault boys to get him out ahead of everyone that's made a stop already, because he's trundling down the pit lane. Cliffy, he's decided that he's going to try and get track position. He's stayed out on a set of medium tyres as well, so he's just about managed to get himself up ahead of Beastas. So Beastas filtering out just behind Cliffy. So this is all going to go down to the wire. We're going to have the safety car out surely for another lap and a half at least. And, well, Stinson and Cliffy deciding they've only done 3 and 2 laps respectively on their tyres. Everyone else making stops. You can see Harry now, the lead runner, on soft tyres. So the pendulum could swing in any direction. And the fantastic thing about this is we have no idea which way it will go.
You took the words out of my mouth. I have absolutely no clue how this is going to play. But are you a bit surprised, Gareth, that Beastas hasn't come back out on a set of soft tyres? I find that a bit surprising, unless he doesn't have any soft tyres left. But Beastas has come out on a brand new set of medium tyres, which is quite interesting. I was expecting to come out on softs and be in a prime position on Cliffy and Stinson. So yeah, and Nathan as well has also come out on a set of mediums. So maybe they don't feel comfortable trying to push on those soft tyres these last few laps. I don't know, or maybe they just prefer that medium tyre. It's a bit strange, I find.
Yeah, it's well, as you say, maybe just a lack of sort of fresh softs, which is what they think they're going to need to get them to the end. Of course, China very aggressive on tyres, very easy to burn out those soft tyres very, very early on, as you saw Schofield coming in on lap 5 earlier on. So, well, they're going to want this safety car to be out as long as possible. Unfortunately, we lost Burmeister. He was the reason for this safety car. Obviously, lost it on exit of turn 13, collected the wall, and has brought out Bernd Mailander in the Mercedes safety car, and he'll be taking us around for at least another lap as everyone starts to close in. You can see Bando now starting to find his way to the back of the pack. And, well, this is all going to be a dash to the flag, running kind of about maybe a 5 or 6 lap run to the line here. It's going to be a sprint race for all sprint races, and as we said, no one quite knows how this is going to go. I cannot wait for this one, but I mean, whilst we've got this little bit of downtime, we'll just quickly let you know, guys, there's plenty more racing to come from Invictus Racing League this week. Join us tomorrow night on YouTube for the PlayStation F2 League, or you can go over and head to twitch.tv/Invictus Racing League and watch the Xbox F1 League. Wednesday night, you've got 2 races on the PlayStation, 2 races on the PC. You've got PC F1 and F2, and you've got PlayStation F3 and F4. And on Thursday night, it's Realistic Performance League night. It's the PlayStation and the Xbox Realistic Performance Leagues, and you can find them on twitch.tv for Xbox and YouTube for the PlayStation. So plenty of racing, all 3 platforms, all Monday to Thursday, every single week. We're on round 10 of the season. 2 more rounds left to go after this. We head over to the Circuit de Catalunya next week for round 11, and we finish off the season at Marina Bay, the night race at Singapore in 2 weeks' time after this. And in fact, next week, maybe, we're not sure yet, maybe, well, it's due to be my 100th commentary. However, I'm on a work for Fab Racing Mini Bike British Championships this week, and currently doing a double stint weekend, so I may miss it. I'm not sure, which will be my first time ever, so you have to stay tuned. You may have a new commentary lineup for next week. However, that won't mean that it won't be any less electrifying like tonight has been, Sab. Safety car in this lap, what is going to happen?
Oh, that is the question. My mouth is watering at this prospect. Stinson now is going to act as the safety car shortly. He'll let that safety car peel into the pits, and when does he go? When does he bolt from this and try and not only get away from Cliffy, but try and build a gap from these red soft tyre runners as they're all coming into that hairpin now. We're going to have, 6 laps of frenetic racing here, all mixtures of tyres. I can't wait for this, Gareth. It's been a while since we've had a safety car. Cliffy's pretty much pushing Stinson. Stinson's not having any of it. Stinson's still not gone yet. Oh, as he just gets tagged by Cliffy. Stinson's still not gone, and now he goes. But, Beastas and I think Cliffy have also got penalties there. I don't see what happened there, but they picked up penalties. That could really hurt them on a potential podium or race victory.
Yeah, you can see as there goes, I think that's Andriy, is that Andriy, is it Nathan? It's Nathan that's gone wide at turn 1. They were all scattering. It was a tricky restart. Cliffy wanted to go. Stinson just hadn't gone, and he just ran into the back of him. It's such a rookie error. You've just got to hold your nerve a little bit longer. But you can see they're fighting for position. Beastas is now trying to stay ahead of Andriy. Andriy, who didn't come in, has now got Harry swarming all over the back of him. Harry, with the extra grip, has just absolutely swept past the Haas driver up into 4th place, and Harry getting the move done very early. Stinson has got away already, 1.1 seconds up the road from Cliffy. Stinson has got that 5 second, so the top 3 all with penalties for contact under the safety car on the restart. So at the moment, Harry is in prime position, Andriy in 2nd, and Bando is in 3rd.
I feel for Stinson a little bit there. He's in control of the safety car restart, and he getting tagged by Cliffy. I feel for Stinson getting that penalty. He's totally out of his hands, so surely the stewards will have a look at. But as you say, Harry in 4th place now, surely is on for another 12th to 1st place victory here. He's got Bisas just ahead of him, and Cliffy not too far as well. Stinson's tried his hardest to pull away from this pack, and he's already got it to 1.3 seconds from Cliffy. So Stinson really pushing on here, but I think it's probably going to be a bit too much to ask now for this race victory with Harry lurking in the background in fourth.
Yeah, and as you say, I believe that common sense will prevail and Stinson will have his 5 seconds removed as Bando tags the back end of Andriy, gets all out of shape, but luckily just about holds onto it. So Bando, as you were saying earlier, spent the majority of this race pointing, well, a 45-degree angle, but he's managed to keep it going. But Stinson, with that 5-second penalty, at the moment is going to be costing him this race win. We're on lap 24 of 28, so there's plenty more racing left to go. Harry is still well within taking the race win on circuit, let alone going ahead of these guys that have got penalties. But as you say, Stinson would be mightily aggrieved that Cliffy just clearly wanted to get on with the race. He hadn't bolted. It's not like he'd started and stopped again. He was just weaving and weaving, and unfortunately, as soon as Cliffy went, Beastas went, and the accordion effect happened, and they concertinaed together. But behind Harry, now you can see the extra grip that Harry has. He can take the apex of turn 13 so much cleaner than Beastas up ahead of him on these soft tyres, and he can just sit behind, and Harry can just, he can just take his time. He doesn't need to rush anything. Beastas going defensive very early on, and in fact it's going to compromise him into the apex of the corner. And behind you can see Nathan and JCol fighting over position. So this is JCol is going to go side by side with Nathan. They're going to tangle, and in fact Nathan's gone off. He's going to go straight into the wall and out of this one.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying there, Nathan. I don't know if he tried to try and peel into pit lane or what, but unfortunately for Nathan, they were battling all the way down. We got VSC, so the race is neutralised briefly, but they were battling all the way down that long straight, and they were side by side round the hairpin. I don't know if they also got a little bit of a tow from Hercules. Hercules was trying to get a move done on Bando as well, so yeah, desperately unlucky for Nathan there. Two don't go into one in that final corner. Unfortunately for Nathan, he has come out worst of it, and JCol breathes again, and JCol now sits in 8th place. But I was mainly watching Hercules, because he's struggling to get past Bando on the soft tyres. Bando also on the soft tyres, and it just sums up Hercules' race evening, really, being stuck behind a car he shouldn't really be stuck behind. It's one of those evenings, but VSC still going. Stinson still has that gap around 1.5 seconds. Sure, that VSC will be coming in any time now. We can't surely have much of it left, and there we go. Talk of it, and it is gone. And can Stinson take advantage of it? No, he's lost. Stinson probably not aware that VSC was going again. He's lost 0.4 of a second just in that bomb bit there.
Yeah, and he's also picked up 0.3 of a second. So Bando, there we go. There's a glitch on that. Almost caught me off. It looks as though Bando was about to go completely sideways, but he's going to go side by side with the Haas, almost tagging the rear end of Harry. As you can see, the Haas getting all out of shape, but that's 2 Haas's in a row that are starting to get a little bit skew for the final 2 corners. But Bando now up into 5th place. He's on for a best result of the season if he can hold on to this one. He just needs to keep it pointing in a straight line up ahead of the road. Beastas is now trying to make a move on Cliffy. He's going to go down the side of Cliffy into turn 1 and turn 2. They're going to just about make it around side by side. Who's got the extra tyre grip? Well, it's going to be Beastas and the fresher mediums. Cliffy, however, has got the held onto the position. You've got to think Beastas is going to come back at him. He's going to go around the outside as they come into turn 4. And he's going to lock up, and Cliffy's going to take the inside line. But Beastas has got the inside line for the next corner at turn 7, and he gets the move done. So Beastas now up into 2nd place. Up ahead, Stinson, 1.7 seconds. He's starting to break away. Harry's not really making any inroads on these soft tyres at the moment.
No, he's not. And one guy who's had such a whirlwind of a race, Bando, could potentially be on for a podium here if he keeps this clean and hangs on to the back of that Renault. So Bando looking like he's on for a real good result tonight. I was hoping for him to have a good race, and so far so good. I don't want to put the commentator's curse on him. You know what I'm like, Gareth. But Bando in 5th place. He's got Andriy behind him on soft tyres. Hercules is just about to, though, overtake Andriy. The Haas driver Hercules has a 3-second time penalty as well, but Hercules just can't get past that Haas. I don't know if the Haas just running long goes, oh God, Andriy almost collected the Bando Biz there, and Hercules and Andriy side by side now. Hercules just about gets ahead of Andriy, and Hercules into 6th place. I swear, how many times have we had that this evening, Gareth, where people have nearly collected another car into that hairpin?
Yeah, I know. We've also got two more going side by side down the main straight. It's JCol and Fozzy Red. They're going to try and go side by side into the first corner. Fozzy's got the inside line. In fact, he's drifting out, and that's going to close the door on JCol into turn 2. And, well, Fozzy gets the move done, and, well, there is action going on up and down the circuit. Cliffy and Harry went side by side into the hairpin on the previous lap. Cliffy tried to get his elbows out. I'm sure Harry won't be too impressed on that at all, because Cliffy came across in the braking zone and then tried to show Harry the door on exit, but with the, of course, with the superior tyre grip, he used those soft tyres to good use, and managed to drag ahead of the Mercedes. Harry can now close in on Beastas, and, well, Stinson, who has got, of course, that 5-second penalty to his name that will most likely be removed, means that Harry's only got about a lap and a quarter to close in 2 seconds. So surely it's going to be Stinson on the circuit with Beastas behind. Harry's still there's a word there somewhere. Harry, who is having to harvest battery down the main straight now. You can see all the rear deflectors flashing for everyone, and they've used a lot of battery early on. Harry's pushing hard. He knows that the race win is on. They're going on to the final lap of this one. He needs to get past Beastas. However, behind him, Cliffy is now fighting off Bando. Bando, as you say, on for a mega result this evening.
He is, but he was deep into the hairpin there, and it's allowed Hercules to close even further on him. Hercules was about 7-8 tenths behind Bando, and it's got within 4 tenths now, so Bando running deep once again, and he wants to try and clear that Mercedes of Cliffy as quick as possible with Hercules lurking behind, but 1 lap left. What's going to happen, Gareth?
Your guess is as good as mine, as usual. This is probably the best race we've had so far this season. Who knew all it took was for Harry to wrap up the championship for everyone to decide to release the shackles and go at each other. But well, we're on to the final lap of this one. I'm trying to work out where to look on this one, because we're going to come on to the final few corners very, very shortly as they come around to end the second sector on the final lap. We're on lap 28 of 28. Harry can't get past Beastas just yet. Stinson with a penalty. Beastas with a penalty. Surely it's going to promote Harry, Bando, and could even promote Andriy if he can close in at the moment onto the podium. We do not know, but we'll go on board very, very shortly. We're just going to tune in with MNT Hercules, because Hercules is still within of attacking distance of Bando. You can see he's got no battery left, so he's not going to close in down this straight, but we will tune in with our race winner at the moment. Well, I say race winner, and the man is going to cross the line and surely take the flag in just a few short seconds time. Behind, we'll keep tabs if anyone makes any moves, but around the final corner will come Stinson with that penalty to his name. He takes the checkered flag. Will he hold on to it? Here comes Beastas. Harry, however, will jump up to the position. Bando jumps up to second place. Andriy just misses out on a podium, finishes in 4th. Stinson down to 3rd place. Beastas in 5th. What an ending to that one. What a race. Really, really enjoyed that one. Hopefully you all did too. What a mega finish. All it takes is a late safety car, different strategies. Oh, we should do this more often.
Oh, well, what a race. That was unbelievable. I'll be honest with you, if I said to you, Gareth, that would be a top 3 tonight, I don't think you would have quite believed me. Harry does step on the top step, and he'll enjoy that champagne for now, but I'm sure Stinson will be going to the stewards and saying, hey, look, I want that time penalty removed. But I'd say driver of the day, he seems to have used most of the circuit as well. Has to go to Bando Biz for me. Bando, he made a great race of it all. He almost nearly wiped himself out in the pit lane, but comes home in 2nd place. Wow, incredible.
Yeah, mega race. And, well, there you go. Harry takes it for 2 weeks in a row, goes from 12th place to the win with 46 minutes and 26 seconds on the clock. However, Stinson may refute that 5-second penalty that he picked up after Clifty ran into the back of him on under the safety car restart. Bando Biz in 2nd. What a result there from the Barbudian in 2nd place. Stinson in 3rd. Andriy in 4th. Beastas, Hercules, Cliffy all the way down to 7th. DLFS in 8th. Foxy Red and Scofield to make it. Alfa Romeo, both Alfa Romeos in the points. JCol just outside with 11th. then Finn Marcus, Nathan Burmeister and Rudy as the three Dutchmen all retire late on in this one, causing that safety car and that VSC that mixed up the field as Beastas takes the fastest lap. I'm just going to check my list because I believe that might make it the first time that we've seen a new person take a fastest lap. No, that is our 10th fastest lap of the season. So we've got another one to add to the list. But what a race! What a mega race! Fantastic racing from so many tonight. Really looking forward to speaking to these guys very shortly. But yeah, Sab, what do you say about that? I mean, chaos from start to finish, a lot of fun, and well, definitely worth a watch back.
Oh, most definitely. I think the safety car certainly helped spice up. We already had a great ending coming up, didn't we, with the race with Stinson looking like he was going to reel in Nathan and Beastas, and then the safety car come out and really bunch these guys up, different tyre choices and some staying out. Yeah, it was chaotic. I've never had my heart in my mouth so much, Gareth, in one race, watching people go into that hairpin and almost wiping each other out. But in the end, it gave us great racing, didn't it? We've got, Gareth, our first and second place in the box with us. Just believe we're waiting on Stinson, so I don't know if you want to get underway now. Just, guys, remember to make your voices allowed to be shared so we can all hear you at home as well, and I'll allow Gareth to get the questions underway.
Yeah, I'll start off with Harry, who clearly should start qualifying in 12th place more often. Harry, what a mental race there. You must have... well, tell us from your point of view how that all unfolded, because it looked as though like you made the master stroke coming in on softs compared to the guys on the mediums. You couldn't quite get past Beastas at the end of that one, but yeah, what a great end to that.
I mean, I couldn't begin to describe. I don't know what happens at all, to be honest, on the safety car. I just had people in my party telling me that everyone in front of you suddenly got penalties, and I saw people getting pushed off the track left, right, and centre. But yeah, I mean, I was just very patient in the first stint, just tried to make, the most of it, whatever. And then safety car thought, most I'm going to lose is probably 2 positions. So I was like, I'd rather have new softs, which I think worked. I think the last 2 laps I just couldn't. It was sort of no good really after the last couple of laps. I think, but I didn't have that great pace anyway. I'm sure the stewards have got a busy couple of days ahead of them. I don't know why Stinson got his penalty, but so I'm not sure if this win will last, but. Even if I'm on the podium, I'm very happy.
Yeah, not to burst the bubble, with Stinson with that contact under the safety car from Cliffy, it looks as though he might have it appealed. But yeah, it's such a fantastic race to watch, and you had a little bit of a battle with your teammate and Hercules, who just decided, it seems, to send it on you and about 3 other cars from about 400 miles backwards. So I bet that took you a surprise a little bit.
Oh yeah, because he didn't say anything. I knew he was getting very close, and I know he wanted to push forward. I was probably a little bit more patient, and then I see him go down, and then as soon as I turn in, I see him hit TL4 for S. But I mean, it was, I think everyone, it wasn't just him. I think everyone had a messy race in some sort. But I mean, I didn't. When I came up the pits, came up right behind him, we had a nice little battle then as well, medium. So. It's both championships are done, so the most important thing is to have fun in these last 2-3 races, and I definitely did. Whether it was a win or 2nd or 3rd or even 4th place, whatever I ended up getting after the penalties decided, it was an enjoyable race.
Yeah, 100%, and exactly that. The main part of it is the reason why we all league races, to have fun. So you hit the nail on the head there. But I mean. Yeah, well done. It's currently the win for the moment, but we will find out in a couple of days' time if that stands. But on to P2, and we'll go to Bando.
No.
Congrats, man! What a result! You've got to be absolutely buzzing after that one.
I'm absolutely buzzing. Like, I literally don't know what to say. I'm not sure if the race result will stand with the 5-second penalties going about, but either way, if it stays as P2, I'm absolutely ecstatic because my whole season has not gone well in terms of my season. So yeah, as you can see, I've got no words to say. I'm actually excited.
Well, yeah, like we said, I mean, we've been willing you forward every single race. It's not gone your way, as you said, but yeah, I mean, Sab had even said that at one point you were going sideways into the pit lane at one point in that race. So it looks as though you weren't even going to make it. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
what did you think when that late safety car came out and you were the first one that could make the jump onto the softs? You must have thought that all the luck in the world had fell in your lap.
Yes. When the safety car came up, I literally just thought to myself, yeah, I might as well take the gamble, take the risk. I know the softs can go around like 6, 7 laps. So I literally just took the risk and went on the softs, and here it is, it paid off, and I'm very excited about that.
Well, congratulations, man! Absolutely stoked for you. Currently P2, might be P3, but it is regardless. It's still a podium in the IRL F1 League. Really, really happy for you.
Thank you.
On to Stinson. Commiserations, man. It's currently P3. Of course, it will be looked at. Tell us from your point of view, because you were on fire this evening.
Yeah, the pace was really good. There was no championship left, so I just wanted to have some fun with the two-stop. The pace was really good, and there's no doubt that 5 seconds will be removed. Because I didn't even know what happened. I came out of the last corner, and I was still warming up my tires. I straightened up the car, wasn't even on my throttle yet, and I got hit from behind. And that gave the 5 seconds. So I don't really know what happened. Of course, I'll send the footage in, but it's probably better to see from Cliffy's or BSS's view. But no, it was a fun race. The safety car was a bit unfortunate.
I mean, yeah, like you say, not your fault, the safety car restart. But what made you go for that aggressive strategy, two-stop strategy? Everyone else was on the one. You obviously felt like you had the pace on the mediums to close up to the back. And did it help that everyone was battling with each other in that train up ahead of you? Just allowed you to cruise up to the back of them and just pick them off one by one.
Yeah, I was like the first 3 laps I was just driving and not looking at the track map, and after 3 laps I just saw that massive gap behind me. Already like 2 seconds to P2, and in the end of the stint it was almost 5 seconds to P3. And I thought, yeah, this gives me room to do a different strategy.
Well, we'll see. Obviously, if you are gifted that, well, I say gifted, you deserve that win, really. But yeah, if that is given back to you, of course, you have to stay tuned on by going and checking out the stewards on if you're part of the community. Go to the Discord. If not, go to the website invictusracingleague.com. However, congratulations, brilliant race from you, fantastic pace, really, really enjoyed you scything your way back through the field. But yeah, congratulations, all top 3. Sab, what have you got to say to these guys? What a mega race for them.
Yeah, absolutely mega race, and this is what I really do enjoy about commentary. I could feel how happy Bando was to be getting on the podium. That was great to hear from him, and I'm absolutely delighted for him. As I said at the beginning of the evening, didn't I? I was willing him on to have a good evening, and it's been an absolutely superb evening. Even if he had a few moments here and there, but he made it work in the end. And Stinson, I have to say, Stinson was absolutely superb tonight. Unfortunate that penalty was given to him, because he absolutely deserved the race victory tonight. It was lightning fast on those medium tyres. It was lightning fast in qualifying, and yeah, crossing the line. Eventually having it taken away across the line with the checker flag, he thoroughly deserved that. So I'm hoping that common sense prevails. But in the end, I'd have to say, if you haven't watched this and you've just tuned in, or if you're a driver and you're just finishing, I definitely recommend watching this. This is probably one of my favourite races so far this evening, Gareth.
Yeah, 100%. This is definitely one. If you're going to pick any race this season to watch back, it's definitely this one if you want some action on circuit. But yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Hopefully you've all enjoyed it. If you have, of course, make sure you press that like button. Subscribe if you're new, and join us Monday through Thursday every week here in Invictus Racing League across all 3 gaming platforms. We'll be back tomorrow night with Malc in the commentary box for their 10th round of the season of the F2 League, and of course over on twitch.tv/Invictus Racing League for the Xbox F1 League. However, if you'd like to join us It will be the 11th round of the season in 7 days' time at the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain for the 11th round of 12 this season. We'll have to stay tuned to see if who will be in the commentary box. It may not be me, but we will let you know. Don't worry. Stay tuned by going to the socials, Invictus RL on Twitter and Invictus Racing League on Facebook and on Instagram. InvictusRacingLeague.com is your place to go for all info you need about the league. And of course, come and join us next week. Whoever's in the box, it's going to be a fantastic race. But from myself and Sab, congratulations to the top 3. But have a great week, guys. We'll see you in 7 days' time in Spain. See you later.